Yeah.
Yeah, Narasimha. So you are saying content has to be really good.
Delivering the value, I mean. Okay.
Yeah, delivering.
Deliver the value which people will find worth spending the $500 or $1,000.
When you say deliver the value, like what do you mean? Like it's only RRR and KGF, only those things are going to work, or like how it is?
Yeah, right now in Tamil, this Nitya Menon and Dhanush film is working, right? It's earning like 80 crores or something. Okay, it doesn't have spectacle visuals and
It's a
graphics
slice
and
of
all.
life. It's a slice of life film.
Yeah.
Exactly, it is working, right? It is working.
It is.
So my point is, giving an experience is important. Okay, how you give the experience doesn't matter. Whether you bring graphics, you show me spectacles, or you just slice of life, very touching story, heart touching story, give something. It's purely, I'm talking about giving experience, because films are for emotions, right? You deliver emotions no matter what you use, what technicalities you use, doesn't matter. You give me human emotions, man. That's simple. Okay, in a right way, obviously something very new which doesn't exist, which haven't seen, like template. It shouldn't be like a template. Every film becomes a template now, the commercial films. So it is not a template kind of thing, something new, at the same time something fresh. So when I'm talking about the value, what is the best value you can think of? It has to be original. It has to deliver what you're expecting from the film. These are the two things, right? So just like you said, Beast and all these films, Tamil, there is a set of expectations. This filmmaker has to reach those expectations, right? So that is the first thing. Nowhere. That's the first thing. That's the simple. That's what I mean.
Right. Sure. So Sid, what's your take on this?
No, I second both Dharani and Sahu. I mean, when it comes to you see now the audience are spoiled for good, man. Like you have to understand that that these are different times. These are trying times for films that are releasing in theaters, and there's a reason for that. Now, there was a time when, see, you ask your dad, you ask my dad, or like our fathers used to have a tough time finding a DVD of an English film.
Yes.
It used to take them weeks to find a DVD of an English film, and today it's just there. Like it just takes 5 seconds for you to download an English film and the HD print of an English film. It's so easy, and with the advent of the OTT platforms and the library of content that exists, the benchmark is like the
when I say, like, I have a friend from US, like she's a US citizen. We were speaking, and I told I watched Friends, I watched Game of Thrones, what do you call it, Grimm, Young Sheldon, Big Bang Theory,
2.5 Men, 2.5 Men,
the Seinfeld, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So it's like, dude, you're becoming American. She said, and I'm like, dude, I need to go back and watch Mughal Reglo again or what?
No, that's also because a lot of cross pollination is happening in terms of the content. You're getting exposed to the content that say the British people are making, or Iranian cinema is no longer a far cry or a tough catch. You're exposed to a lot of cinema at the end of the day. Now audience were forgiving till a point, and but a film like Cinema Bandi has spoiled them for good. A film like Cinema Bandi, which just touches your heart, touches your soul, which and ask Sahu about it. Ask Sahu about the artistic impulse they followed, the aesthetic impulse that they followed while writing the film, the kind of freedom that they had, because they were backed by Rajan DK. Rajan DK understand the freedom of telling a story the way it is, and not fabricating it or not window dressing it with a lot of other factors in the garb of saying that the audience would like it, or it would appeal to the audience, it's for the theater. Now I've never understood like October, for example. October is a very good film, and most of the people, majority of the people, I'm surprised that majority of the people call it a flop. I don't think it was a flop, because for a film that was made at a budget of 27 crores, it collected 82 crores. That's like, bro, that's thrice the money collected. Now, if you say box office, if you put box office as a benchmark, then every film is going to fall down because of the 100 crore philia that has come into existence since
I,
2015-16.
I get what you're saying. I think the reason people call it a flop is because up until then, Varun Dhawan's films, every film collected 100 crore.
Yeah, exactly. The 100 crore philia that surrounded.
So, yeah, now let me just go back to our, second point. Like Saul said, extremities have an addiction. Extreme reactions are addictive actually. So, I mean, see, I understand we're all filmmakers. If I ask Teddy, he'll say that reviews are impacting a film a lot more than you would think. Every review that people write, a person writes, it's killing the collections. You work for a big budget film.
Most eligible batch.
Let's not take the name. It's going to be uploaded. Most eligible batch that he worked for, and we said that reviews are one of the reasons. I mean, no matter what we say, one of the reasons for the downfall of collections. All right. So, if we can avoid this extremism, is there a process to avoid this extremism? Like what to channel, what not to cut out? I'm baffled because see, I'm an audience. I have empathy for films. I have empathy for filmmakers. They see. I know. I mean, there is this film release that was called Narsimha. It's a junior India film. It flopped very badly. You and telling it flopped very badly. So that producer attempted suicide in Tank Bunny. And industry says that nobody ever saw that producer again. He didn't make any other film. So I empathize with that. So much has been invested. I want even average films. That's my agenda. So how to stop this extreme reactions being so propagated like that? Is there any way? Do you see any way like that?
Shall I start?
Yeah. Please.
Okay, there are two things. When you call reviewers, there are two kinds of reviews, right? One is the proper Bharadwaj Rangan kind of reviewers, professional reviewers.
Yes.
And the other one is we audience. We write in social media, we tell our friends, they ask us, "Hello, cinema," okay? That's all word of mouth. When we give, these are all word of mouth, right? Word of mouth has a bigger impact than Bharadwaj Rangan's.
Absolutely.
When it comes to commercial films, okay, because everybody is aware that Bharadwaj Rangan are kind of critics. They don't give good ratings for a proper commercial pot boiler. Yes. Oftentimes, unless they find every fault. All Sanjay
21 hits. David Dhawan gave 21 hits back to back.
No,
zero for
this guy. What is his name? The action director, Rohit Shetty films. Even Sanjay Leela Bhansali, all his films are panned by Anupama Chopra. Every single film of his is panned by Anupama Chopra. She hates every single film. You watch any of the reviews, Padmavat review or anything, okay? She keeps panning what the hell he made and all these things, okay? So people don't, the masses don't trust these film reviewers, those kind of film reviewers. Yes. But we, we in the filmmaking community, we pay attention to Bharadwaj Rangan, we pay attention to certain, Anupama Chopras and all these people. Because we are into the industry, we are well aware what they are speaking of. But the common public, their reactions are far more impactful on the box office. So the way to avoid the extremities is there is only one choice. You have to make a damn good film. so you are forced to make a damn good film so that the extreme is positive. So the extreme has to be in the positive. Okay, you can't take a middle path. Okay, acha average film bana diya hai, parled baane undi. Those words doesn't work now.
Yeah, they
Okay?
don't exist.
Those
They
words
don't
doesn't
exist.
Yeah.
Those words don't
those
exist.
words, yeah, doesn't work for the box office. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're coming to box office, you have to deliver the best, or else you just go for OTT. Those are the two things. For example, a lot of OTT films which directly got released, most of them, if you have released it in theaters, they wouldn't have flopped. They would have flopped a lot of films. They are
Yeah.
not made for theatrical audience, right? They're
Yes.
not made for theatrical audience. So people would call flop, and when it releases on OTT, nobody pays any attention to that. Once it flops at a box office.
Yes.
So you have to have the intelligence as a filmmaker. You have to have the intelligence.
Intelligence.
Who are your audience?
Where
Where
to
you
go.
should go.
Yes.
Where to go, and how you should promote the film as well. How even if in theater, certain films are overly promoted, and they don't deliver, like Liger and stuff. So they make extreme promises. Okay, you don't do extreme promises when you are, your market, what kind of film you're making and all. Being aware of what you are trying to achieve is very important. Being aware of your audience, who you are exactly targeting, is important.
Awareness. Yes, good point.
Also, to add to Sahu's point, Aryan, may I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Also, to add to Sahu's point, very interesting. See, word of mouth is a concept that has always existed. It's not a non-existent. It was always there. The audience were always
Social media, because of social
yeah,
media,
but because
now
of
you are
social
more
media, it's more accessible. Even the word of mouth has become accessible.
Yes.
See,
yes,
reviews and critiquing a film has not spoiled or has not pushed the film to underperform as much as word of mouth has, because word of mouth has now become digitally accessible
yeah,
to a lot of
yes,
audience out there, to masses and classes
10
alike.
times more.
10 times, 10 to 15 times more. You're right. So that I guess I've seen I've seen these pages wherein the show starts at 9:02 and there are updates, bro, like 9:02 hero introduction fight, 9:05 this happens, 9:07 this happens, 9:09, and then by 10:15 interval the film is so. I don't think
Right.
you need to give a watch. You can skip it. Like by interval, he's decided for all of us, for the entire population of India, that you you can give it a miss. You can. That is now.
Yeah.
See, now we've never we've never had friends who walk up to us and tell that I've not liked the film, but you should give it a try. We are also surrounded by people who say कि बकवास film है यार मत जा. Don't watch the film. చూడ దసలు చూడ దరిద్రంగా ఉంది. So not liking a film and calling a film bad, calling a film worse, they're two different things. You not liking it is a personal opinion. You telling that a film is bad is an opinion that you're actually generalizing. That the later part, I don't think anybody in the audience is entitled to be very honest. You paid money, you paid for your ticket. You've not paid for the ticket. You've not paid for the 150 tickets or the 120 crore population. You've not done that.
Right.
You have an opinion, it's amazing. Also, I believe criticism on a whole has sort of accentuated Aryan. Like it's accentuated leaps and bounds. Nobody wants to empower filmmaking or empower cinema. They always want to sort of criticize cinema as the extremist funda that Sahu was stating. You're attracted to the bad things. You're attracted to bad things are addictive. So bad reviews are addictive. You get a satisfaction. You get this sardonic pleasure out of reading a bad review, and you're like, "Hammaya." I've seen people doing that. I've seen my 150 rupees have been saved.
Guilty.
So you're one of them.
Actually, there was a film I didn't like the trailer at all.
Okay.
I'll take the name. Lal Singh Chadha.
Hmm.
I didn't like the trailer at all. So I thought when people said it's a flaw, I immediately messaged my brother saying that
Yeah. So,
so
so we suffer from that. We suffer from that borderline sardonic pleasure that we seek out of
How to solve
bad
it?
reviews.
Yeah.
That's your take.
So yeah.
Can I add the point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned about the reviews will be the impacting the movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I accepting the both members' point. Now I mention about the the example UTV Dhananjay writing the book about the Veli Three Mandrangal. In previous date, they mentioned about the Hindi cinemas and Malayalam cinema. After the movie release, after the 1 week, no one will be the advertising about the movie reviews, because of they consider about the producer and distributor will be the taking about the minimum amount from the movies. Then afterwards will be they distributing about the reviews. Previous years will be they mention about in the book, they will be the following this process. After the movie release only, after the 1 week will be the mention about the sum of movie reviews, social medias. But the nowadays will be the social media movie. Director Ram mentioned about the one interview. If a reviewer should be the reviewing the movie, means that will be the concern about the who will be target audience. Because you mentioned commercial audience is your movie review, means you will be mentioned about the commercial about the element in movies. Some of the commercial movies are also the movie reviewer will be the destroying commercially not will be work out. If you example தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா, இப்ப உங்க படத்தை வந்து ஜனரஞ்சகமா அந்த படத்தை வந்து நீங்க ஜனரஞ்சகமான ஆடியன்ஸுக்கு தான் எடுத்துட்டு போய் சேர்க்க போறீங்கன்னா, அப்ப அதுக்கான ஆடியன்ஸுக்கு நீங்க வந்து மூவி ரிவ்யூ பண்ணணும். அந்த படத்துல வந்து நீங்க கேமரா ஒர்க் இல்ல, இப்ப கேரக்டர் நல்லா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லி அந்த படத்தை வந்து டெஸ்ட்ராய் பண்ணாதீங்கன்னு சொல்லி இப்ப டேரக்டர் ராம் வந்து ஒரு இன்டர்வியூல மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருந்தாரு. So in the take of the movie, it be nowadays a memes will be the movie review. Through the Instagram will be the movie. After the first day, first show will be the memes will be the destroying the fans. You mentioned about we are be facing the same mentality. If the memes will be the movie reviews, they will be facing okay, saved 150 rupees and parking charges. Okay, they enjoy. But same the distributed side will be the facing will be pressured because of the social media will be fastly spreading the attention to the audience. First will be the youngster. A youngster will be the decided to the movie will be done. So it mean the family are the to tell the family also, mom, to father and his mother, it will be not good. We'll be the wait for another movie. Then we'll go to the theater. So they will be the easy to the Instagram, easily to attract the youngster. The youngster will be knowing the movie through the memes. And the memes also they mention about the reference movie itself. The GoPro they mention about the Doom and some of the reference movie. The audience, the youngster will be the attention. Will be the copy.
Your voice is air is coming for, not your voice.
Hello, is not audible?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, and the through the memes will be they mention about the some of the reference movies. So same pattern will be. I am extremely sad the Anathe movie. Superstar Anathe movie. The compared with the Tirupachi movie, through the memes about the storyline, they will be sharing the within the first day, first show after. Through the memes, all sharing about the Anathe with Tirupachi movie, the comparing the movie, all meme pages are sharing. The will be the audience.
Yeah. Yeah,
That will be
so
the
there is only one solution, which I already told. There's only one solution for all this.
Example, the
make a kick-ass film. that is the only solution is making a kick-ass film.
Yeah.
And
you don't have an option.
Let me speak.
Yeah, and some of the example, the social media will be helping also some other example. Doctor previous year, the doctor will be because Sivakarthian will be not much of the market of hero in Tamil industry, but through the internet will be the blockbuster hit from the Sivakarthian career first 100 crore movies because of through the social media and meme pages. Because they mention about if the content will be good means the social media help to the group the movie to the next level. If the content will be the bad means after the first day first show itself the movie will be the disaster come through the memes itself about the mention about the reference movie and the mention about the past if example the sisterhood sentiment means there will be after the first day first show itself the compared to another sister sentiment movie the mention about the comparison there will be the yeah, will be the disaster to the movie.
Yeah, so people who don't know Tirupachi is Annavaram in Telugu.
Vijay's film.
Vijay's film, yeah.
Yeah, right. So we need to the attention to be the mostly we try to the content will be the good if will be the reviewer also mostly the good review. So on the reviewer always will be the concern to will be the director also be thinking about the who to the target audience, but the review if you should be the review means you should the review to the common audience or will be the some of the foreign lovers or movie lovers that will be concerned about the movie review. It will be easy to take the some of the impact will be the not that one also will be not due to negative reviews. If it will be the movie review will be the common audience, it will be the common. It will be the songs will be the good and the camera work will be the good. If you will be the target audience will be the some of the foreign lover movies and all Korean film lovers means will be the in detail explain about the story and the character emotion will be the detail explain about me. It will be reduce the some of the negative feel. So once you will be watching the reviews.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So there is one more topic, and we'll discuss and we'll close the whole call. Right. It's almost like 1 hour. Okay. So this is actually a part of it. I mean, whatever the topic I'm trying to bring up, Sahu has already discussed it already. Sahu has already has spoken about it. So the topic I want to bring is the downfall of mighty Bollywood. I mean, I hope you're hearing it clearly. The downfall of the mighty Bollywood.
Yeah.
And see, there is a huge gap between the filmmakers and the audience. See, I understand a lot of it is political because Bollywood did one grave mistake that it has mixed politics and films. And that kind of backfired. I mean, it was a ticking time bomb. Today, because of social media and all, now audiences are reacting. So it was a ticking time bomb right from the beginning. They didn't realize it. Okay. My point is, and Sanjay Gupta, filmmaker Sanjay Gupta, who made films like Kante and Kabil and all, he said one thing. The reason for Bollywood current state is 3 people: Rajiv Masand, Raja Singh,
Anupama Chopra.
Anupama Chopra.
Say, who is the second one?
Raja Singh.
Raja Sen. Yeah, yeah.
Raja Singh.
Anupama Chopra. These
Yeah.
are the 3 people who are responsible for the downfall of Bollywood. Because, to have that intellectual discussion, that need for it, as you have mentioned, a lot of people, I know camera, I know this, let's talk about it. What they did is they started appeasing these 3 people. Filmmakers, that's his point. This is Sanjay Gupta's point. This is not my words.
Of course. I've seen the interview. I've seen that excerpt.
Yes. So
Continue.
he said Bollywood filmmakers started appeasing these 3 people. Anupama
Yes.
Chopra, Rajiv Masand, and all. And
Yes,
their
yes.
audience.
Yes.
So now what happened is, see, I feel very heartbroken when I was reading. I was watching this interview of Rajiv Masand. He said that Prabhas was not a relatively known face. Prabhas, when Bahubali was released, Prabhas was not a relatively known face. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? First of all, Prabhas is a very well-known face in North because of Satellite. They know our heroes, man. They know Ajit. They know Ravi Teja. They know Nitin.
Yes.
They know everybody. You know what? I felt very, humiliated kind of thing. See, I went to Aurangabad. It's Maharashtra, right? It has nothing to do with Tamil industry, Telugu industry. I was taking an auto. You know what the auto driver's ringtone was? Mari. Dana.
Dhanush is Mari. Dhanush is.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm a fan of Dhanush. I don't carry that ringtone. That's supposed to be harmful. And you have made it your own. And one more example is that I used to stay in a hostel, okay? Srimantulu, my house film Srimantulu was getting aired on television. So this guy, North guy, he was watching the film. I was standing just outside the film and I was watching the whole thing because I also love the film. I was watching it along with him. break came. The scene was where he tells that guy in the second half how parents should stick to village and you should go out and work. Parents have an emotion towards the village, the place where they grew up. You can't just ask them to leave, come back, and that was the scene. Okay. So this guy is a very like heavily muscular guy, masculine man, full gym vim and all. He turned back towards me. The break came. Just then break came. He turned back to me and he started crying. घर याद आ गया यार. What do you call? I just remembered my house, man.
Homesick. I felt homesick.
He felt homesick. And I'm like, dude, that's our movie. I didn't feel that emotional in that film. And you have made it your own. You know what? I won't be surprised if Ravi Teja's film Tiger Nageswara, it's coming and it's going to be in Hindi also. It will be released in Hindi also. I won't be surprised if that's a hit.
Yes.
Because they liked Veera. They liked that Daru. Daru is such, Veera is such a hit in North. Serial is something or Veera Simhan. I am baffled. I'm offended. I mean, I felt very intimidated when Rajiv Masan said, Prabhas is not a relatively known face. I was like, he's not a relatively known face to you, not the audience. You see the gap there? Like, so this is my theory. My theory of downfall of Bollywood.
Yes.
I agree with what Sanjay Gupta has said. There is a huge filmmakers try to appeal the critics and start making films to the audience. So
Exactly.
I would like to hear your thoughts on that, starting with Sahu.
Okay, so definitely because I was in, I used to live in Mumbai for like 8 years. So my cook is from Bihar. My cook is from Bihar and he knows every Telugu actor. It was in 2014, before Bahubali. I'm talking about pre-Bahubali.
Yeah, of course.
Before Bahubali also, he was aware of Allu Arjun, he was aware of Ravi Teja. He talks about the storylines of those films he watched. And he asked me, what is the name of this hero? This thing happens in the film and tell me what is his name and all. Okay. So I'm well worth of this thing.
As a joke, I'm telling, for them, the movie's name is Dangerous Kill ID 1, Dangerous Kill ID 2, Dangerous Kill ID 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So even we don't know, Brindavanam got dubbed and released without our knowledge. Okay, we think after Bahubali our films are getting in theaters, but they are releasing Brindavanam in 2013 and 12 itself in theaters.
Yes.
In Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, Brindavanam dubbed was a hit. None of us know. We only think about Kartikeya 2 and all these films, but those days also few states they already had Telugu dubbed films in theaters, and people watched it and they loved it. Okay. So my point is, I was pitching in Mumbai to several production houses. I was carrying this mass commercial film. It is not like regular template film, but it's for the masses, B and C and A audience, complete action thriller. And guess what? None of the production houses were ready to do a commercial film. I went for pitching like 27 production houses. FICCI, I went for FICCI also. FICCI, I pitched it to 12 to 14 production houses in 2 days. In 2 days, they were all production houses in FICCI. Apart from that, I went to a few studios, all you name, Yashraj Film, Dharma, this, every production house I've been to. Okay, they are all interested in making biographies, Razi kind of films. Okay, some biography we are making. That's the era, right? In 2016, 17, 18, they were all biographies. Still, they are making biographies. Okay, so when you come back, when you see why Uri made 200 crores among all these films, Rohit Shetty makes 200 crores, we believe it. Chalo, Rohit Shetty ne bana diya, because he makes commercial, he doesn't give a damn about Anupama Chopra and all these parallel films. Because there are two things I want to talk about. First thing is that about film schools and critics, one thing, and the second thing is that why Uri worked. You are a Uri is a pakka commercial film. If you want to see as a screenwriter, Telugu Tamil mass commercial film. By the way, if you take the spinal cord of it, okay, there is this villain, there is this hero, and you use nationalism for emotion. In the end, hero doesn't just kill a villain with the gun. He has to hit him hard. because it's a revenge drama. So somebody in hero's family got killed, and hero has to take revenge. And the villain is the same guy who killed his family. You know, in the end climax, he beats the same villain. Okay, it could have been any other terrorist. No,
I
it
love
could have been any other.
how parallel you
It is
draw.
the same terrorist, and that too in proper commercial film. What happens in the climax? The hero has to beat villain for like 10 minutes fight. You can't kill him with a gun. If he is a military guy, he can kill it with a gun. If he's done with it, no, he can kill it with a gun and done with it, or a knife. He would have done with it. But no, commercially, they have to fight with their fist to fist fight for last 15 minutes. Okay, if you study the whole film, it's a pakka commercial mass film. Okay, when you give a layer calling it is inspired from true story and giving it an Indian Army uniform where everything is valid, even the non-commercial film critics will like it, because realistically it is possible. The army men can beat, army men can do anything. Okay, then they accept. All these critics will accept. Yeah, that is very realistic. And the same thing Vijay or Allu Arjun does. No, these guys lose physics and all. These guys, these are all non-practical. That's the thing. Now the Ronnie Screwwala, he's the producer of Uri. You are right. Ronnie Screwwala. He is again making those war films only. He's continuously his upcoming films are all war films, because he cracked the code to appease to masses and classes. Okay, two sides of the spectrum. Go on making films with this military background. Nobody will comment about the action. Nobody will comment about anything negative about the film. That is one thing. Second thing is about the film schools and the film critics as such. Okay. They have you go to any film school, man, they will show you this Scorsese or this old Russian films about
Andrei Tarkovsky
and all
they show you
this stuff.
Tarkovsky. They show you Tarkovsky.
The point is, they will train your mind. They will train everybody's mind that these are the best films. They won't tell you much about commercial films. They won't teach you much about commercial films because they look down at commercial films. Okay, the teachers and everybody in film school, they are teachers in film school because they didn't succeed in becoming a commercial film directors or technicians. Okay, so naturally they have the jealousy. They hate the commercial film. Naturally, they hate the kind of mass mainstream commercial genre as such. They only praise the parallel films. They only talk about parallel films as if these are the best things than this. So as a filmmaker, as an upcoming filmmaker, you get inspired. You may start thinking like, these are the good films. No, these commercial films are not good and all this. It happened, man. In Hollywood also, New York Film School, there's this director, what's his name? This is great director. No?
Martin Scorsese, he said Avengers, he watched Avengers and it was a theme park.
That's okay. This other thing happened. The hotel, what is that hotel? English film, 2016 Oscars, which got. It's about a hotel in some. The director who makes films with fantasy elements and all, colorful buildings and all these things, colorful clothes and all.
Wes Anderson.
So Wes Anderson went to film school. Yes. He went to film school. It was his first day of film school.
The Grand Budapest
and
Hotel.
The professor.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes, Grand Budapest Hotel. So he went to film school when he was in college, okay, to learn about films and to become a filmmaker. He went to film school. On the first day itself, the professor came and told every student that if you are here, if you like Terminator 2, if you want to make Terminator 2 kind of films, please get out of my class. That is the line he told. And guess what? This guy stood up and went.
And he got out. Yeah. I've heard of this anecdote.
So look at their perspective. Okay, Terminator is a shitty film according to them, according to those kind of people. All these professors. They only talk about Cannes Film Festival. They only talk about Venice Film Festival. They only talk about that. They don't talk about all these great Hollywood films like Spielberg films, big, huge Spielberg films and all. They don't much give heed to them. More, they don't create value in the minds of students. Similarly, the critics, these Anupama Chopras and all this, they have a certain mindset. Rohit Shetty tells to Anupama Chopra, you are not my audience. I'm not trying to entertain you because you are not my audience. He tells it on her face, right? So obviously this mindset, these kind of people exist. There are audience also who exist, who say, realistic nahi tha. Film is not realistic. Hawa mein ud raha hai villain. There are people who talk like that. In our friends also, you will find people who only praise Malayalam films.
Yeah,
If you must have.
I suggested my North Indian friend, I mean, she doesn't watch Telugu films at all. So I suggested her to watch RRR.
Yes.
Probably the greatest film of Rajamouli, probably the greatest film of India.
Okay.
You know what her reply was? अरे ये साउथ मूवी है वो हवा में उड़ने वाला नहीं है ना ये वो नहीं है ना villain
Yeah.
hero hits and
So-
it floats in the air. It's not that movie, right?
So nobody, but nobody can. I know your emotion there, but nobody can say that to me on my face. Okay, why? I have a comeback. I have a strong comeback which nobody can answer. I have a question for that. Okay. People who complain that films are not realistic, Hawa Mein Ud Raha Hai and all this bullshit, realistic hona chahiye, film bole to realistic. We only watch Malayalam films. We only watch what is that October director? What is his name?
Sujit Sarkar.
Sujit Sarkar or Batra's film. We only watch those kind of cinema. The other Rohit Shetty and Rajamouli films are not cinema. They're all commercial. So for those kind of people, I'm telling, films are not about reality. Never. Stories are never about reality. Okay? Films are not about realism. Films are about dreams. It's all dream.
All about
When you sit in a theater, when you switch off the lights, okay, when you look at the screen, it is you dreaming. When you dream at night, you can fly in air. You can be in the clouds, right? In a dream, you can be in a cloud or in an alien atmosphere. It's all. Anything can happen in a dream, right? So Aristotle says, stories are imitation of reality. They are not reality. Stories are nothing to do with reality. So all these people, I don't know. I count them as dumb people, okay? Because they think realistic hona chahiye. Film bola to realistic hona chahiye. Watch documentaries. Why do you watch feature films? No, if you want realism, watch documentaries. There is difference, no? There are documentaries. Go watch documentaries. Why do you come and watch Rajamouli films and say realistic nahi tha? कुछ भी हो सकता है. Anything can happen given you properly gauge the screenplay right. When the screenplay is right, nobody will question anything. Like for Super Deluxe, suddenly this alien comes in the second half. That's wrong. You didn't plan the screenplay from the beginning. Okay, anything can happen, has its own rules, set of rules. Even in commercial cinema, villain can fly. Anything can happen. A fly can take revenge in Ega.
Yeah.
You set up rightly, right? You set up the film right in the first 20 minutes or so. So when you don't set up and then anything happens, there you miss the point.
To get to what you're saying, recently a film released called Bimbisara.
Yeah.
Bimbisara, nobody will say that that's a 13 crore film. First of all.
Yeah.
In the limited budget for whatever, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you give him a 100 crore budget, he's gonna change the location of the treasure. If you have, it's a very neat, very normal location. Where the treasure is there, that's a very normal location. He's going to change that.
Exactly.
But what he gets right is the emotion and screenplay part. That's the whole drama between the kid and him. He got that part right, and the film is heavily successful. Rest everything you see, you can see the low budget thing, budget constraints, everything is visible right there. Audience will forgive all those things. Yeah, it's all about that screenplay, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In 1 minute, this is going to end. Probably, we'll have to click it on again. Okay. So let me stop the meeting right now itself.
And then we'll rejoin. We'll rejoin.
Siddhant and Dharni can chime in.
Okay.